Let's go. Ready? Ready.
Oh, boy.
All right. This is a beautiful house, my man. How many square feet is this?
I don't know exactly. I think a little bit over 20,000 square feet. I think I got this house built. It took like a year since 2009.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before we sit down and talk, I turned around, get ready to go for a tour of the house, and the next thing I know, I see that picture. Who is that?
And that's where it all started from.
That's you?
That's me. I'm standing in a boxing ring in Grand Rapids, Michigan, at Tawassee Boxing Club.
But you knew instantly you wanted to be a fighter.
That's all I knew. My whole life. That's all I knew. I was in a lot of street fights when I was a kid, of course, like any other kid that comes up in a rough environment. My grandmother is the woman that raised me. She always believed in me. When no one else believed in me, she believed in me. My mother lives here with me. Not in my home, but she lives in Las Vegas. A beautiful home. A couple toys.
What's your definition of toys?
Well, private jet, Enzo, Bugatti. Let's walk over here. I'll show you a couple toys. This is, they call this the $1 million garage. So.
I know we're on television, Floyd, but I think it's necessary for me to say, damn. Look at this.
Well, we are on ESPN. These are sports cars. This is a sports network. This car costs $3.2 million. 1.6 million.
Okay.
1.6. So you're 1.6 and 1.6.
And what about the white one over here?
This over 3 million. I'm serious. I'm going back. Throwback training.
Yes. Slow down. Slow down. Come this way. Watch. Stop for a sec. Stop. Show to me.
Chopping wood.
Yeah, chopping wood. It's a way. It's a method. I can kind of show you. This is not about who has the most muscles, who's the strongest, who's the fastest. My mentality, I always believed in who's the smartest. And, I feel that, brain for brain, there's no fighter that can match me.
You don't worry about anything, but here you are leading up to Manny Pacquiao on May 2nd, and something that you haven't been doing in quite a long time, you decided to go back to. Why is that?
I want to win. I really want to win. Mentally, I have to go back to where it all started from.
But why?
I have to.
Why?
Because he's not just any other fighter. He's not just any other fighter. And I know where he went wrong. I know where Pacquiao went wrong.
Away.
He's incredibly confident.
Yeah.
One of the things he did acknowledge that there are certain things that he's doing differently as it pertains to his training regimen, because he says this ain't the typical opponent. Manny Pacquiao is a different beast, and he will be ready, supremely confident as always. In the days and dare I say weeks to come, you'll see more of it, because we spent about 7 hours together. I wanted to sit down and interview, and he said, let's make this like 24 access, 24/7 access. And at his house, apartment, casino, private jet, we were all over the place. And we spent pretty much all of Saturday evening together, evening in my lingo. I mean, that might have been daylight hours for him, but for me, it was the evening, you know, because we spent about 6 or 7 hours together, talked, and it's something that you'll see all over various shows, of course, across the ESPN platform in the days and weeks to come. Of course, Sports Center, you'll see a lot of it here. You'll definitely see it. You might see it on Outside the Lines. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, and we talked about everything. We talked about some of his troubles. We talked about the fight. We talked about what went into making the fight. He also talked about how he was the one pushing forward. You know, and all of this stuff was lies about how Manny and Bob Arum was pushing forward.
Wait a second. So he's saying that he wasn't running from the fight?
Not only is he saying he wasn't running, he basically implied they were the ones stalling, not him, because he had been trying to make this fight for years. It's all on camera, and Skip will see it for himself. He even mentioned my man Skip 1 or 2 times. He was just having fun. It was nothing major.
Okay. I'm taking it seriously.
I know that. I'm just saying, but I'm just saying I wouldn't let something like that happen. But you know, he just said, you know what, I don't blame, you know, Skip for feeling the way they feel. He said everybody's entitled to their opinion. He's entitled to believe that Manny Pacquiao is going to win. I feel very, very sorry for him, you know, that he believes that about Manny, because it ain't gonna happen. You know, I just laugh about it, but you know, that kind of stuff. But ultimately, again, it's something that, you know, will be all over the media, ESPN platforms in the days and weeks to come, because there's enough material there to last leading into the fight. That's how much time we spent together. That's how much we talked. It even got to a point where we were debating basketball for a half hour, because he was trying to tell me LeBron James would beat Michael Jordan in a one-on-one matchup. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that he was saying. We went all over the place.
Now I know he's going to lose.
No, because he said that. That one comment alone.
So that was.
Did you get that on tape?
Everything. That was another thing. He insisted. I mean, it didn't matter where we went.
Yeah.
Whether it was in his den, his movie theater, his living room, you know, the back where he showed me about 5 Bugattis, the cars, and you know, the Lamborghinis and everywhere else. Didn't matter where we were.
Did he buy something for his 14-year-old, like a Bentley, like
he wanted grand? He called that his driving around car. That's what we were driving in with the camera. The camera was in the back seat. The camera crew was in the back seat, but he did not want the cameras off. He wanted the cameras rolling the whole time.
Do you feel like you asked him everything?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, ESPN is doing some other things too, so there are other things that they were going to touch on as well. For me personally, the primary reason I was there was because of this fight coming up. You understand? And there are other things that other folks are going to get into. I asked them about some of those things as well, and you'll see that on camera. But folks will get into whatever they want to get into more extensively. My interest is what it has always been in: Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. on May 2nd at the MGM Grand. And that's a lot. That was some of what we talked about, but we also talked about his image, you know, what he means to boxing, what people feel about him, how people want him to fall, and why. We got into all of those things.
Good. I am extremely happy for you and for this network that you got 7 hours with Floyd Mayweather Jr. But now I have to be real and defend my position and Manny Pacquiao's position here. I'm also glad that you were there to document all of what I think is Floyd's insecure bluster. I think he fears Manny Pacquiao, and I'm not going to back off that. You've heard the old expression, whistling through the graveyard? You know that one?
No.
You know that one? Thank you very much. Floyd is whistling loudly through what will prove to be his boxing graveyard, as in his first loss. I still believe with all my heart and soul, and again, I'm getting a lot of this from the Pacquiao camp side, that Floyd ran from Manny Pacquiao for not 2 or 3 years, but for 5 long years, regardless of Floyd's position. Respect that. This is what I believe. I believe he got shamed into this fight in the end as he turned 38 years of age, because it finally came clear to him he did not and could not risk retiring with that big, ugly asterisk on his record, ran from Manny Pacquiao. Just couldn't risk it. Just couldn't live with that. So he had to take a fight that he fears against a left-hander who has equal hand quickness to Floyd's, and who has serious punching power and a huge heart, and who has badly, badly, badly wanted Floyd Mayweather Jr. for the last 5 years. So Floyd's a big gambler, right? He's a big bettor.
He won $90,000 Saturday night. He bet that the Utah Jazz would be ahead of the Detroit Pistons by 5 points at the end of the first half. Won the bet.
That was the bet?
Yeah, that was
by
the bet.
5
Those simple, yeah, those simple bets.
And won it and won $90,000, and then took me and the ESPN camera crew to pick up the $90,000 with the camera rolling.
Really?
I could have used $90,000.
Yeah.
I just want to put that out.
I think you're good. I think you're good.
This is what I believe. And I can certainly be wrong about this. But if you put Floyd on a lie detector, if he had to wager a ton of money on this fight, I believe he would lean toward wagering on the other guy. I don't think he thinks he can beat the other guy. His father has been outspoken about that for a long time. Remember when Senior said, I don't think Floyd understands yet that he can beat Manny Pacquiao. That was just maybe 6 months ago.
I hear where you're coming from. You have to understand that now that the fight is signed, we had fun with Pacquiao. We're going to have fun. You know, we've been having fun talking about all of this stuff. You have to understand that just as resolute as you are, that Manny Pacquiao will win this fight. That's how I feel about Floyd Mayweather.
I know you do.
I think Floyd Mayweather is going to put something on that boy. I truly believe that. I'm not saying it's not going to be a challenge. I mean no disrespect to Manny, who comes across as an incredibly nice guy, and he's wonderful to me. I love him laughing at me personally. It's fun, it's lighthearted, and you know, because I don't want him to get hurt. I just want him to lose to Floyd because I think Floyd's the better fighter. And I think it's one of those things, man, where Floyd makes the points here. You know, he knows to take this guy seriously, but he's been there before because I specifically asked him, you know, and I can't wait till you hear his answer and the way he delivers it. I had to press him a little bit about it. I was like, why are you trying to act all zen? Why are you trying to be calm? Why are you trying to be mild? He's like, all right, fine. He said he don't know what he's gotten himself into. You gonna come at me like that? Oh, no. I'm just saying he said on camera, and this is what he said. Right. He gonna tell you what he said to Manny. Okay. All right, he's gonna say this stuff, and you know, and to some degree, on another aside, and that's something that he may get into, he may or may not get into. Again, you know, you get all the tape footage, you know, it's something that we'll sift through. But he spoke about Manny Pacquiao and how it puts it's a bit of a put off that you got folks in America. This dude is from the Philippines. He takes his money and takes it back to the Philippines, and you got folks in this country cheering for Manny Pacquiao over him.
So you think that's un-American?
I'm just saying, no, well, he didn't use those words, and in one breath he'll say he doesn't care, but in another breath you can tell that he does care. That somebody else would be being rooted for ahead of him. And who he reminded me represented his country in Olympic competition. So he's like, here I am wearing the red, white, and blue. But I got folks here rooting against me. But that has always made me better. And I will be there May 2nd.
Wait a second. Does Floyd realize that his out-of-the-ring behavior has made him difficult to root for?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so. I think that, you know, because when you talk about fighters and you talk about boxers, they don't usually look at that as a reason why somebody would pick them to lose over somebody. Their attitude is that you want somebody, you know, when you hear stuff, you bad for boxing and all of this other stuff, think about some of the elements that have involved the sport of boxing throughout time. And he's looking at it from the perspective that you got people that want him to lose because they're tired of him controlling the sport because he's the best in the world and he's his own boss. That's how he's looking at it.
Okay.
And that's what offends him, because he's like, it's the American way. Everybody aspires to be in this position that I'm in. How you gonna have a problem with me because I got it when everybody's pursuing it?
Okay.
That's a good point.
Okay, last quick question. Did it come up about this report from inside his camp that he dropped a sparring partner with a body shot?
I did ask him about that.
Yeah.
I did ask him about that.
And?
He said, I'm putting in the work. Everybody knows what time it is. He sort of got Marshawn Lynch on that particular subject. Oh. You know why I'm here. That kind of thing.
I thought maybe he admitted to you he's actually sparring with Justin Bieber.
Oh,
when he dropped
yikes! That was nice. That was a nice shot.
You couldn't resist.
Good for you.
You couldn't resist.
Yeah,
I couldn't resist. But again, you are resolute in believing that Manny Pacquiao is going to beat him. I'm resolute in believing that Floyd Mayweather is going to school this man.
Somebody's going to be really sorry on the night.
So Stephen A. Spent 7 hours with Floyd Mayweather. Looking forward to your interview, especially about what he had to say about his image and how he's being perceived. I'm glad that you had the opportunity to have that interview. We transitioned to NC.
Get 2 times points on travel and dining at restaurants. and in part by Scott's. Get Scott's Turf Builder Lawn Food now and feed your lawn. Feed it. And Snickers. Snickers satisfies.
NBA doubleheader tonight on ESPN. At 8, LeBron heads back to South Beach as the Cavs take on the Heat. You don't want to miss that. 10:30, Warriors, Lakers, and it all starts with Countdown. All right, we talked about LeBron heading back to his home away from home. Skip, what do you expect from him tonight?
You know, LeBron said he tweaked his knee in the game last night at Orlando. Wasn't sure he's going to play tonight. This is just me, Stephen A. I'm not sure that LeBron this late in the regular season wants to subject himself to what I think will be a very emotionally draining night tonight with some at least scattered boos. But, hey, as long as you got Kyrie riding shotgun for you this time, I think you'll be okay.
I think LeBron likes competing, Skip. I mean, he loves competing, but I'm just talking about for the purposes of tonight, just being in Miami, in South Beach, for those fans, against D. Wade and those boys, against Pat Riley and those boys. I think he's going to show up. I think LeBron, I don't think he's going to sit out tonight. I think he's going to want to play.
Show?
Yeah.
I think, well, I don't know if he's going to put on the show. It depends on how he's feeling. I suspect Kyrie will. It'll be interesting to see. But I think LeBron's going to play.
You'll hear some scattered boos. Is that
you know what? They've got to get over it. He gave 4 years to them. They went to 4 straight NBA finals.
Do you think what Pat Riley said will be in his mind?
It'll always be in his mind. LeBron doesn't forget. He forgives and he moves on, but he forgets nothing. But neither does Pat Riley. And Pat Riley doesn't care. Pat Riley's his own man. He says what he means now.
All right, this is true. We'll be watching. We'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow right here at 10 a.m. on ESPN2. Have a good one.
I think that Floyd Mayweather has slowed down a little bit more than Manny has at this point in his career. I think that the tenacity that Manny Pacquiao will bring, the fact that he's left-handed, and I think that Floyd Mayweather, listen, I'm not saying I'm guaranteeing it, I'm not betting the house, but I will bet you. If you want to put some money down, I tried to make a bet with him last time. He didn't want to take it.
You didn't.
But if I do have to I'm making my prediction on national television, live TV. I got Manny Pacquiao, period. And I got him I got him knocking down Floyd Mayweather in the 9th round.
Wow.
Not knocking him out, but knocking him down like a considerable knockdown. I think there'll be a few flash knockdowns during the fight.
Nice.
Who knows what could happen?
Stopped in the 9th round?
No. I think he's going to get knocked down. I think you're going to see Floyd Mayweather actually get knocked down. That's what I think's going to happen.
But it will go 12.
12 rounds. But I just hope there's no shenanigans.
Okay.
See, one of the things that I think that Floyd Mayweather knew, and it was delayed in taking this fight, is he knows that this is Vegas. This is boxing. It's the only unsanctioned major sport, right? And it's a sport that has no instant replay. It's a circus, right? It still ran like it's the 1920s. Okay, it's pathetic. It's embarrassing. And I hope that whatever happens, there's no circus man flying into the ring. I hope there's no bad decision. I hope there's no knockouts when the ref turns their back. I just hope that it's a real fight for the sport of boxing.
You're right.
And I hope they really perform. And the one thing I'm glad about is that I hope they both bring out the greatest in both of them.
Nice.
That's what I hope happens. Because I just love the sport so much.
Yeah. Stephen A.
Well, first of all, I'm proud of you. You actually made sense with a few of your arguments.
Thank you.
They were very salient points. I will say this to you. First of all, I'm hoping for the same thing. I don't believe there's going to be any shenanigans. I think there's too much money at stake. The only thing I'm worried about, Michael, is somebody getting robbed, decision-wise, specifically Floyd.
I agree.
And here's why.
Building an excuse.
I agree. No, he's right.
No. Let me tell you why, Skip. This is important. And you should not hope for this either. Because you see, if Manny were to lose in any way, particularly controversially, there will be a rematch.
Yes.
But if you rob Floyd, Floyd may say bump it and walk away for good. He might pull a haggle on us that never fought again after he felt like he got robbed. He's got that kind of mentality. Yeah. You don't want to play that game with this guy in Vegas if you want a rematch because of all the money it's going to generate. That's why I'm saying we should hope that if Floyd loses, he loses legitimately. He loses because he completely gets outshined and he knows he lost, whether it's via knockdown, knockout, or a decision.
I agree.
You don't want him robbed because he may get so frustrated he may not come back. You don't want that. Now, with that being said, I'm willing to concede to you based on Madonna.
Oh, Madonna.
Based on Madonna.
I thought it was Madonna. I didn't like her. What are you talking about?
Madonna.
Who brought the pain to Floyd?
In the 3rd round, hit him with a shot, caught him, but after that got out boxed.
And he slaughtered Jermaine Broner. He just annihilated Jermaine AB.
Listen, don't interrupt me.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
I didn't disagree.
Break it down.
He did handle Adrian Broner, and Adrian Broner could be one of the best if he took the game more seriously because he's gifted. And I like Broner. He just got to stop playing around. But I'm saying this to you about Floyd. Floyd
I can understand your argument that he may have lost a step or whatever. Here's what no one is considering. Manny only knows one way. Manny keeps coming.
Yes.
And so the things that Floyd normally would have to concern himself with, even with an aggressive fighter, because he has lost, he might be deemed as somebody who may have lost a step. It doesn't apply to Pacquiao because Pacquiao only knows one way. He keeps coming, and he's going to keep applying the pressure relentlessly. And if you're Floyd, it don't matter that you may have lost a step, because the bottom line is that he's going to come to you. You don't have to go find him. And that's the thing.
But if he's coming to you fast the way Pacquiao does, he's speedy.
No, I'm talking about it with, I understand it with his punches, but his defense isn't great.
Right. No, his defense
Pacquiao, the guys that came at Floyd, even though they were slower and more methodical, they were decent, if not good, defensive fighters.
Right.
Manny Pacquiao's defense is his offense. He's a machine. He keeps coming, and his defense isn't great. And that is why I am not worried about Floyd in this fight.
Has Mr. Kardashian, I mean Mayweather, has he come to the show? Yeah, sometimes I get confused.
Why would you do that?
Because sometimes he's on Instagram, he shows pictures of his bag collection and his shoe collection, and I sometimes get confused with the Kardashian. Sorry, I got confused.
Point. I hadn't thought of that. He's just showing off a bit too much.
No, I'm saying
that's very disrespectful.
No, I'm saying Floyd Mayweather, sometimes he shows a lot of pictures of his jewelry and his watch collection, and I know that the Kardashians, they're always showing pictures of their jewelry and their watch collection. So sometimes I get confused. But has he come on the show? Have you guys squashed your little beef?
I interviewed him. It'll be airing with, I don't know, I mean, SportsCenter and beyond. All the shows for ESPN will be airing it in the weeks to come leading up to the fight.